Hey, how you doing, everybody? Welcome back to another episode of God Concept. I'm your host, Mr. Pagan. This is episode 14, season 2. You know, I always remember being, connected, being one with nature. And to be honest with you, I can't remember a time where I wasn't. I always been grounded and rooted to nature, even in times where I wasn't aware of that. A lot of us don't know or aware that we're connected to nature. You know what I mean? We are nature. We're connected to what's above and what's below. You know, in that aspect of nature, what I'm talking about is the animals and things. It's like I always been gravitating, or animals always gravitated towards me. Sometimes when I would sing, birds would come. You know what I mean? Sometimes when I would go, to the end of the line on the bus route or whatever, I would sit there and I would feed the geese and everything. They would naturally just come around me. They would never attack me or nothing like that. They would damn near eat out my hand. Pistachios, right out my hand. I got this squirrel the other day. I posted something on my Facebook, a little picture of this squirrel that was just in my face. It's like every time I take my dog to the park, this squirrel is always in my face. I mean, Joan just come look right at me. It'll stretch, yawn and shit. Like, man, what the fuck is you and this dog doing in the park again? You know what I mean? This little lady, she come feed him peanuts and shit like that. We attach to these animals and things like that, spiritually, naturally, and I don't know why. I do know why, I understand, but the explanation is one that I can't understand, even though I understand it, if you can understand that. But no, man, it's deep, because, when you sing, certain birds will come to you if you hit certain notes and things like that. It's certain tones and frequency that attach to animals in nature. You know what I mean? It's like they have nothing to say to you. So the only way you can really attach to them is thoughts, feelings, emotions, and things like that, or physical touch. You know what I mean? Or feeding them. Yeah, even that, feeding or whatever. That's like caring or whatever. Shit like that. They just always naturally come to you. And then I remember, the movie Dr. Monroe's Island, and he was experimenting, splicing people with animal DNA and stuff like that, and putting animal DNA. You had cheetah men and cheetah women. You had different species of animal and human hybrids and things like that. And it's deep, it's interesting, man, because we all do have these animal instincts. I mean, we are, I forget what they call it at the end of the day. I forget right now. But the whole thing is we are that. We all have these animal-like qualities about us at times, or at all times, as a matter of fact. I remember my mom telling me stories about different animals. My mom always brought me different animals. One time she had a friend, he bought her a wild jackrabbit, a big-ass black jackrabbit. She gave it to me. Had the goddamn thing for a long time sitting in the box. Had iguanas and all that shit. You know what I mean? You sleep in the bed with us, all that shit. Birds, of course dogs and cats. She told me a story this one time about a giant fucking owl, right? Had a house over here on Shawswood Street. Giant fucking owl flies and lands on top of a car and flaps his fucking wings. Everybody sitting there looking. Owl turned his head around looking and shit like that for a while. Everybody looking around and shit like that. This is before people had camera phones. I'm pretty sure people got photos probably. It's a big-ass owl. Looking around, and then out of nowhere, after a while, he just opened his wings and took off. Wingspan that was longer than the car that he was sitting on. And that's in Philadelphia, in the hood, you know. I've witnessed eagles and shit like this while I drove tractor trailers. I've witnessed eagles flying directly over the tractor, wingspan wider than the tractor. You know what I mean? It's things like that is what I love. Hawks just coming out of nowhere. Fucking mooses. I went to sleep up in Minnesota one time. Woke up, there was a moose next to the truck. One time I'm driving on the road, big ass moose. You know what I mean? It's just, animals just always something I always been into. You know? Hopefully one day, you know, I like to go hiking somewhere where they got exotic animals, but not on no crazy ass hike, like something that I could be safe and protected, but at the same time get out there with nature and go, you know what I mean, exploring and shit like that. Should be dope. The transference of energy is a crazy thing, because, you know, the transference of energy between two people, two animals, you know, it's all possible, and I know this. And sometimes, you know, with animals, right, we can, you know, take the energy of animals, and energies, you know, animals could take the energy of us. We can, you know, kind of communicate in a way. Now, the thing is it being done consciously and purposely through you, or not? Like, are you doing it, or is some entity, is some spiritual being doing it through you? Because we got to be aware of how we're being used. And I want to give you a FYI. I'm starting up a different segment of this episode now, because earlier I recorded it with how we're connected to nature, and now I'm finishing it with, you know, how we could take energies between humans and animals alike, you know, how we can exchange information spiritually through each other, mentally, like, you know, on some level. And a lot of people don't understand that they're being used. You know what I mean? You can be used to fulfill an agenda. Somebody who performs, you know, somebody who basically can attach themselves to another being's energy, like a cat, a person, a dog, whatever. You know, there's people out there like that. But we have to be careful, because we can transfer our energy to, we can transfer energy, and we can also steal energy. You know, if you know how to transfer energy, you can transfer energy, right? And also, if you know how to steal energy, you can also steal energy. So, in a way, us being rooted in nature, you know, us being rooted in physical, spiritual, and mental, right? In alignment with all our chakras. We got to understand that there's more to this world than just what we see, what we touch, what we feel. There's things at play behind the scenes, spiritual things. And they work through people, and they work through animals. You know, you can attach with animals' energy sometimes better than you can attach with a person's energy. And a person can steal another person's energy if they know what they're doing. They could do it intentionally, or they could do it unintentionally. But if they're doing it intentionally, they could be doing it with ill intention. You understand what I'm saying? So you got to be careful with who you let interact with your animals, your cats, your dogs, your kids. You got to be careful with who you interact with, because there's people that'll steal your energy out there. You know, you got people that thrive on that, and we don't know why. We can't come up with these answers, and it's because sometimes they're doing these things knowingly. And sometimes they're doing these things unwittingly. They don't know what energy or entity is working through them. But they're out here doing things and they're acting weird and they're acting strange and things like this. And it's because something is working through them. Something is working through them. Or either they're doing something, they're performing rituals and trying to, please something that they're worshiping. That's some scary shit to know that there's people out here that's stealing energy from animals, children, people, adults, old people that don't know no better and everything. It's people out here that's performing rituals on people in plain sight. They'll let you see them do it because they might not even know what the fuck they doing. And then it's even worse if they don't know what they doing and you don't know what they doing. And then it's three ways it could go. They can know what they doing and you just don't know what they doing. Or they can know or they don't know what they doing and you know exactly what the fuck they doing. And now you got to check them about some shit and they don't even know what the fuck they did wrong. That's because they not attached to the spiritual. They mind not that in depth to know that what they doing is wrong. What they doing is something that they not supposed to be doing. That's why you got to be careful with who you shake hands with, all of that shit. Who you give any type of energy to. Because these people are energy thieves. Seriously, it's people that will try to steal your very essence from you. Of who you are, of what you're supposed to be. They perform rituals all day long on our kids, on our animals, on the people that we love, on our elders, on us, without us even fucking knowing. And we go along right with the fucking program every fucking time. Unwittingly. We don't know. But once you know, you can't unknow. I'm just putting it out there. I'm not mad at nobody. I'm not judging nobody or none of that shit. Because you got people out here that's working with forces of evil and they don't even know. And you got people that's out here working for forces of justice and prosperity and goodness and they don't even know. See, some evil things could be done for a good reason. But some good things could be done for an evil reason as well. So you got to be in a line to understand what you're looking at, what you're observing. Because what you could be very well observing, you could be very well observing an evil person making something look good, performing a ritual in plain sight, smiling, dancing, laughing, doing these things with people or animals. And the whole time they doing something evil about this earth. They doing it through a physical body, but they're doing things to appease whatever entity that they're serving. And you never know who a person's in a line with nowadays. The only way you really know if you're in a line with that person or that animal or that being, whatever it is you align with, you got to be in a line with that in accordance with that. And anybody that you're not in a line with, basically, spiritually, mentally, physically, emotionally, stay the fuck away from them. You know what I mean? And if you can't stay away from them, try to minimize your contact with those people. Don't let those people in contact with your children. Don't let those people in contact with your animals. Because it's so deep, somebody could do a ritual on you through somebody else. They'll pass somebody else something so they can hand it to you, and the ritual is fulfilled. Or the way a person placed something in front of you. Or when you give somebody something and they give you something, it's an exchange. Or if you just give them something and they don't give you nothing, or if they give you something and you don't give them nothing. All that's ritualistic shit that's going down. And we don't even know that. A lot of people don't know that. I'm going to give you another one. I'm going to give you something deep as shit. You know, certain spiritual entities and things could work through children, infants, through animals. Yeah. Animals do rituals on your ass while you sleep and all that. Animals will stand on your chest and suck it. You know, a cat will stand on your chest and do something, either breathe life into you, or they could take life away from you. Cats can do that to you. Cats can feel your emotions and everything. If you could protect a cat and be kind to a cat, that cat will grow up and protect and be kind to you and be your best friend. Dogs as well. But just like in humans, just like in animals, you got some retarded animals. You got some retarded animal, remedial, right? And you got some that's not. You got some people, some children, some older people that's retarded too. And then you got some that's not. You got to be careful for the retarded ones, the remedial ones, because they're performing things that they don't even know what they're performing. They're performing rituals and things like this because they're easily used by spiritual entities. Now, I don't mind being used by a spiritual entity as long as it's using me in the right way. But if I'm acting erratically, if I'm acting weird in certain ways, maybe you don't understand it, but as long as I know I'm right, at the end of the day, I'm cool. But at the same time, if it's a feeling that's felt by other spiritual people who understand what these things are and are observing you, and they're not judging you, but the feeling that they're getting is off, it's because you're doing something wrong and you need to discontinue, cease and desist your motherfucking actions. Because what you're doing is something that's beyond the physical realm. What you're doing is something spiritual that you don't even know what the fuck you're doing. You making up shit in your head. You thinking some nut ass shit you done made up. But no, what it really is you performing rituals and shit on people. So you have to be careful who you interact with and how you interact with them. And I'm still learning this. I'm still growing myself. I don't mean to offend anybody at all. Anybody in earshot of my voice, if you hear me speaking about these topics, please don't feel offended. This is just what I'm observing. And I'm not being judgmental at all. I'm just merely stating the facts. At the end of the day, you know, majority of us out here, we have kids, we got loved ones, whether that be a four-legged friend or a physical or person, another person, you know what I mean? And we develop these relationships and bonds with people. And you got people that walk around out here and they purposely try to hinder your happiness or your joy or try to steal that energy. You know what I mean? And they do this shit systematically, not only systematically, through each other, through our people, through our animals, through our devices, through the shit we like to do, through the shit we don't like to do, through the shit that gets on our fucking nerves, that really grinds your gears. All of that type of shit. Through your twin flame, that other person that you attach to on the other side of the shit, or other entity, whatever you want to call it. But that's the way it's designed that way for some of us. Some of us are made to have hurdles big as fucking Mount Rushmore, and others got hurdles the size of anthills. That's just the way it is. Some of us are made to understand this shit, and some of us are not made to understand this shit. That's why you may hear it and think I'm picking or some shit like that. If it don't apply, let it fly. And if you understand, then take it, grasp. And understand that we on the same accord with what I'm talking about. We're in alliance, we're in agreement. That we gotta be more mindful what we do here because it means something bigger elsewhere. Because after you get over this physical life, there's a spiritual life to be lived. And maybe what you do here predicates how you live that other spiritual life, that next level of life that you transcend to when you leave here. Or descend to. I have no idea. Right? But either way, it will continue. So that's why we have to be mindful what we do here on this plane. That's what it is. That's what we doing. Here on this plane. What we doing here? Playing. It's a very serious game that we playing, but we playing nonetheless. And we all need companions and we all need somebody to attach to. Right? But at the same time, we can't abuse the people that we attach to. And at the same time, we got to teach the people that we attach to. And at the same time, if there's people that you see acting erratically or doing things that they don't understand that they doing, you want to call them out on that shit if you really love them and shit like that. But if you don't, it's best that you just try not to observe their little rituals and shit that they doing, because they don't even know they doing this shit. Animals, all right, yeah, you can put a foot in the animal ass and they'll stop doing a crazy ritual. You know what I mean? You don't like to put your hands on animals. I don't want to do nothing to an animal because animals are more observers. But I don't know. If an animal's doing a ritual on you, it's probably something weird. It's probably you're a weird person and it's trying to steal your life force, or you're a good person and it's trying to give you life force, because animals only go with your energy. Now, if you're an evil person, yeah, you're going to have to put your hands on the animal, because more than likely the animal is going to be snapping at you, biting at you. If it's a dog, if it's a cat, it's going to be jumping on you, scratching you and stuff like that, because you have negative energy. Or if the owner has something against you. If an animal's owner has something against you, that animal will start to have something against you. That's just to further show you the type of attachment we have to our animals and our humans, because people are the same way. How many times have you had a problem with somebody, and because you got a problem with somebody, your man got a problem with him, right? Your homeboy got a problem with him. Your girl got a problem with her, right? That's how it is. It's the same thing. The energies is transferred through each other. The only time you can understand that and harness those type of powers and understand either the good or bad you're doing here on earth, or in the spiritual realm, or in the mental realm of other people. See, people don't even think about that. The stupid shit that we do here to our animals and to other people, it has a mental effect on them. People don't even think about that shit. It not only have a spiritual effect, it has a mental effect. You can fuck up a person's life by the things you do to them when they're a child. Or you can fuck up an animal's life by the things you do to the animal when it's a child, or through its whole life cycle. You can fuck up a person's life by the things you do in a person's life, just by your fucking programming. And they susceptible to it because they stuck around your nut ass. Or the animal, if this is your pet, they stuck around your nut ass. That was the cat. This cat loved me, because I give off good energy every time. The cat was like, "What's up? What you talking about?" I ain't talking about nothing. This Queenie. Smiley over there. Yeah, Smiley over there chilling. But yeah, you know what I mean? That's why we have to be real careful, man. You want to treat others and animals, because animals are others as well, as you would want to be fucking treated, basically. You know what I mean? And don't be out here performing rituals and doing weird shit with people, these handshakes and all that type of shit, because those are rituals as well. Okay, if you out here doing some some nut ass shit you never did with somebody, kids and shit, you know what I mean? You gotta watch these teachers, you gotta watch these artists out here, these actors and shit. You gotta watch all these people. Cause some of them they be in art. Like, you got some actors, they be performing rituals and shit like that, and they don't know what they performing. Some performers, they don't know what they doing, but they doing these choreography dances. The ones that's made up, that's choreographed. Sorry about that, I get tongue twisted. The ones that's where they come up with the steps and shit. They had a whole dance plan. Well, the dance whole thing is a routine. Is ritual. That's what a routine is a ritual. You scratch post. But yeah, it's a ritual. And the performer is singing and chanting to these ritual dances that's going on, and they doing it on public TV right in front of everybody's faces. Now, there's nothing wrong with that. I'm not saying that there's wrong with that. Something's wrong with that. Because maybe these rituals need to be done. On some, excuse me, I'm blowing a hookah right now. On some level, maybe these rituals and things need to be done. But you got to be careful who's performing rituals and what you're witnessing and things like that, because it might not be something you agree with. And just by you witnessing a certain ritual being performed, you're now susceptible to it. Now it's in your mind because you done watched this fucking ritual, or this ritual been done to you. And now you susceptible to somebody doing that shit to somebody else. Like you could out of nowhere start doing this shit to somebody else, or allow somebody else to do this shit to other people. But nowadays you can't speak on things of the spiritual or the mental, or people get mad. Anything could go on physical. Guys could run around with their ass hanging out. You know what I mean? All types of shit. Girls could turn to men and men could turn to women. Anything in the physical is possible. But soon as you tell somebody to chill on some spiritual shit or some mental shit or some shit like that, you wrong. You automatically wrong. You can't even talk, they don't even want spirituality in school no more. You know why? Because they don't want you to know about the spiritual aspect of who you are, who your children are, who your elders are. Because there's a lot of spiritual works at play here. Even the cats that run about outside, the stray cats and all of them, they got a spiritual entity at play there. They possibly hold spirits and they possess spirits in their body of observers that have been here before. So you never know. It's a lot of shit going on, man. Y'all got to stay aware, man, and pay attention. I'm just trying to stay sucker free and away from the boogie woogies that don't know that they boogie woogies. You know what I mean? They be doing some nut shit, and they don't even realize they doing nut shit, but you could identify the nut shit they doing. But if you say something to them, you wrong. So I ain't gonna say nothing to nobody. I just don't want to see this shit go on. Like, if there's a ritual going down, something that I don't agree with, if I'm getting bad energy from it, I'm gonna step off. If I step off, don't ask me no questions. None of that shit. I'm just stepping off because I don't want to see it take place. You know what I mean? And I'm not saying that you're doing it, that somebody's doing it intentionally or whatever. But I know when it's being done because you could feel it. A wise man once told me, how do you know when you're being cheated? Because it feels like it. How you know when somebody doing some ritualistic shit? Because it feels like it. How you know when somebody really don't like you and they acting like it? Because it feels like it. How you know somebody lying to you? Because it fucking feels like it. Or they gotta tell. You could tell when they fucking lying. You could tell when some nut shit is afoot. Shenanigans. And this is Mr. Pagan. This has been that episode of God Concept. Coming back at y'all again. Listen, check out the music too. I just dropped some new music. Hand of God is out now on all streaming platforms. Please show us some love. Just play it. Just stream the shit. You know what I mean? Give it a couple listens. Spin it in your car. Let your kids hear it because it's not a lot of cursing. If it is a couple curse words, I apologize. All right, but listen. Mr. Brown over and out. Check out that book, Nature's Features too. Peace.